Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gundorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another Third Age Reforged online. Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gundorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another Third Age Reforged on multiplayer battle replay. And this one is a 3 vs 3 on the Dead Marshes map. I did actually get a request to play on the Dead Marshes, so this is why I am playing here. It is actually a very fun map too. It's kind of a pitch battle, but it's also interesting because it has a ton of choke points, which can make some really interesting fights. So I am also going to be playing as the elves of, or the realm of Mirkwood, I should say. It's a faction that I don't really see played a whole lot in 0.95, so I am actually going to be playing them as I am going to be playing as them today. So I guess we'll go ahead and go into the army composition to begin with my own. As we go along, you'll see the rest of the armies. Also, it was not like a good versus evil or anything; it was just a normal kind of battle. The only rules I think were no dwarf list and no fire arrows, because both of those things are pretty overpowered. Anyway, I've got 3 units of these here Oth. They are just a sword and shield infantry unit that Mirkwood has to offer. Very cool looking. Also, they are very well skilled and very well armored. So they are pretty much just the better variant of these Mego E Aaron. However, they are more expensive, and you can only bring 3 of them before the price increase. I've also got like 4 or 5 units of these Mego E Aaron, just a light infantry sword and shield unit. Not bad. They also are a lot cheaper than these here Oth, so you're definitely going to see these guys a lot whenever you are playing as or against Mirkwood. Also, while they're not well armored, they are very skillful, so their skill can really help them out in terms of an actual infantry fight. However, you do have to get them stuck in relatively quickly, because while they do have some pretty nice shields, they are very low armored. They're very low in armor. Anyway, in front of them, I've got 1 unit of these Hethil E Tower, which is a new unit that Mirkwood has to offer. Unlike most shock infantry units, it doesn't really actually have a two-handed weapon. They actually wield 2 one-handed axes. They're not AP, but because of their axes, they do actually do more damage than most sword units. I've also got, you can just see more of my Mego E Aaron. I think I also have 1 unit of the spear variant of them. I think it's right here, the Thandrim E Aaron, which is just the same kind of thing as these sword and shield units, except it actually has a spear and shield instead. So they're a little bit better at holding, but they do have lower attack values. You can see some more of my Oth. And then I've got 2 units of the Mathar E Lasgelen, which is a very expensive but very deadly elven javelin unit. And despite their big shields, they can get skirmished down very, very easily, so you have to be very careful with them indeed. For my general, I do have 1 unit of the IR Argwe E Nanwaith. You can see my Ghostin right there. I also apologize right now for the terrible pronunciations of these units. I do not speak Elvish, so I'm probably butchering all these names. Over here, I've also got 1 unit of the Hiri Pang as another archer unit. And then over here, I've got the rest of my archers, that being 3 units of the Thurn E Tower. Now, these guys are a lightly armored archer unit, but like most elven archers, they're very accurate and have really nice range. They also look super, super cool. I don't know if these guys actually are body piercing. I think that they might be. It'll be pretty easy to tell once the battle gets underway, though. You will be able to see that very quickly. You can bring 3 of them before the price increase. They're also not very expensive as far as it goes for elven archers. And it's nice just because you can actually bring 3 of them before the price increase. Also, they can hide anywhere, as you can see. Same goes for these Hethil E Tower. And that's pretty much going to do it for my army composition. I didn't bring any cavalry because, being the Dead Marshes, cavalry is not going to do a huge amount of work unless you're able to just kind of totally outflank your enemy. Over here, my first ally is Soph commanding the army of Mordor. Now, she's got a couple units of the orc fodder, of course. You can always see those guys because they are free. She's got 2 units of the Mornon archers, all spread out here in loose formation. Behind them, I think she has some more orc fodder. She's also got 2 units of orc javelins. She's got 2 units of the Black Legion of Barad-dûr, as well as 2 units of Mornon halberds. That's a pretty nice pairing there. There's a lot of armor and defense in that area, and also the halberds will be able to provide a nice amount of AP damage. I also should mention that she only got about like halfway through her deployment before she actually hit start deployment. So that is why most of her units back here are kind of in an odd formation and not really with the rest of the army. She's got a couple units of the Moron infantry, 1 unit of the Olag Hire, of course, an extremely expensive but extremely deadly troll unit, very heavily armored. You can see her units of orc javelins here. Also, she's got her general's unit of the dismounted Temple Inquisitors, just of course a very deadly shock infantry. They're very expensive as well, but they do have 2 hit points and very nice armor values, which means they're going to be very hard to skirmish down. She's also got 1 unit of the Melkor's Chosen, which is an absolutely terrifying anti-cavalry unit, and also they are not bad at all off the charts. She's also got one of the Troll Drummers there to provide some morale support, And she has one unit of the mounted Temple Inquisitors right here as well, which is just another very high tier Mordor anti-cavalry unit. So I'm pretty sure that just about does it for her army composition, except I think she also has one unit of the body-piercing Numenor and Shadowguard around here as well somewhere. But then again, being rangers, they are going to be able to hide very well. Over here we've got my last ally, that being Riz, who is commanding the army of Arthedain. He's got one of the Dunedain Mounted Company, just a light cavalry unit that is AP off the charge because they are lancers. They do have a lot of numbers, but they're not super well armored. However, they do have some nice shields. But they're also not going to be winning many fights in... they're not going to be winning many cavalry fights, I should say, unless they're just able to overpower the enemy just by sheer amount of numbers. Because as you can see, they do have 80 men in the unit. Behind them, we've got the always feared Knights of Numenor, who are, of course, really don't need an explanation. They're just a very deadly knight unit who are very expensive as well. Over here you can see the general's unit of Riz, that being the Vanderbrass archers. You can see the general right there standing amongst the hobbits. And actually, yes, I do believe that this is supposed to be Samwise Gamgee and that is supposed to be Frodo Baggins. I actually did not know that. There's actually a lot of really cool officers in the game, but I did not know that Sam and Frodo are actually in it. That's a very interesting, well, very nice touch, I should say. I actually am a big fan of all the officers, especially of the ones from Gondor. Over here you can see he's got his Wardens of the North, an AP archer unit. He's got 2 units of the Arthedain men-at-arms, and a lot of shock infantry. Actually, he's got like 4 units of shock infantry, those being 2 units of mercenary war chiefs and 2 units of dismounted Fornost Irain Knights. Pretty much they're going to be playing the same role. I think the dismounted Fornost Irain Knights might have actual better armor. The mercenary war chiefs actually do have a shield on their backs, which helps protect them against arrow fire. And the unit models on these guys also look very cool. I really like the helmet, especially this one right here. In front of them, he's got 2 units of the Arthedain Marksmen, and he's also got over here on the flank 2 units of the dismounted Knights of Numenor, who are relatively similar to the Wardens of the White Tower. They have slightly lower stats than the Wardens of the White Tower. However, they are a little bit cheaper, and you can bring 2 of them before the price increase, which makes them very good to bring pretty much all the time. I'm pretty sure that just about does it for his army, so we'll now go over to the other team. The first of which is deployed way back here, that being Donald Kingslayer, who's commanding the army of Harad. He's got 3 units of the Southwind archers. Not going to do a huge amount of damage, however, just because of how many men they do have in the unit, they should be able to do okay. He's also got like 3 or 4 units back here of Southron Warband, 1 unit of the Trollmen of Harad, who are of course an AP Sword and Shield unit. I don't know if they actually have hit points anymore. I don't think they do, but they possibly could. Next to them, he's got some champions of Nafarat, who are of course another AP unit that Harad has to field. However, unlike the Trollmen, they do not have a shield. Instead, they have a 2-handed weapon, which is very, very deadly looking. These guys, I'm pretty sure, yeah, these guys do have the hit points, I believe. But again, yeah, behind them he's got 1 unit of the Muhad Warriors, just a standard sword and shield unit of Harad. And behind them, he's got 2 units of the Muhad Beast Tamers, who are a pretty low armored pike unit, who are pretty cheap as well. However, being pikes, as long as they're not getting shot to pieces, they should do very well for what they cost. He's also got 2 units hidden around here of some Hashari Stalkers, which is really the only deadly archer unit, you could say, that Harad actually does have to offer to the field of battle. However, they are very expensive. And they are a ranged unit, so I'm pretty sure they are BP. Back here you can see he's also got the very nice looking Mumakil. They look very cool with their kind of a reskin right there. Very expensive, they're like 1,500 florins. However, you do have to be very, very careful with these guys because pikes aren't going to do great against them, but they should do relatively well. However, most cavalry actually does surprisingly well against Mumakil, and obviously javelins are always going to be the bane of Mumakil. And then his last cavalry unit is right over here, another very expensive but very cool looking unit that Harad can actually bring, that being the Muhad War Beasts. You can see the kind of Beastmaster's model riding on some really nice looking like hairy rhinos, so that's pretty cool. I don't really know what these guys role, this unit's role is particularly. I think they're technically a spear cavalry unit, which means they're better against other cav, but they're not going to do great in an actual infantry or cav to infantry fight. So you definitely want to get those guys out of the infantry fight as quickly as possible. Just charge them in and then let them back. Over here we've got the next army, that being Dale, commanded by Tundra's Fox. He's got a couple units of Dalian cavalry as well as 1 unit of the Earls of Dale. Over here he's got, well, across his whole line he's got 3 units of the Barding Herd, each being backed up by some Lake Town infantry. In front of these units right here he's got a couple units of Lake Town bowmen. Over here, he's also got 2 units of the Bardian Marksman. Unfortunately, not upgraded with the armor upgrade because they look very, very cool with the upgrade. However, they still look cool without. He's also got a couple units of the Lakemen Patrol, or like River Patrol, something like that. It's just the Javelin, like pretty low tier Javelin unit that Dale can actually offer. They also got a new unit model, which you will see in action pretty shortly. So it's got a unit of the civilians, just kind of a throwaway unit, really. However, they are actually AP, cost 300 florins, but of course they've got horrible stats pretty much just all around. Behind them, he's got one unit of the Blackshot Dragon Slayers, which is where his general is, another of the few remaining AP archers. And I'm pretty sure that just about does it for his army, so we'll now go over to the final army, that being Dol Amroth, commanded by Sumray. It might be how you say it, it probably isn't. Anyway, he's got 3 units of Edhelmed Men-at-Arms here, but he's got a total of 5. His front line consists of 3 units of Edhelmed Men-at-Arms, but far back here you can see he's got a couple more units of them. Behind his front line, he's got 3 units of the Edhelm Halberdiers, who are an AP halberd unit, of course. I think they are AP. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're AP still. But they're going to be able to hold very well against my infantry, just because, as a whole, elves, besides skirmishers and besides archers and javelins, elves can struggle quite a bit against pikes and halberds. So it's going to be interesting to see how the fight is going to go on between us. Over here, he's also got 2 units of the Tirith Air Marksman, just a pretty nice looking heavy archer unit. He's also got a couple units of the Blackroot Vale Archers, which is just a BP Ranger unit. He's also got 2 units of Tirith Wardens on either side. He's got 1 unit of the Tarnostian Lancers Heavy Cavalry. Over he's got a couple units of the Dor and Ernil Light Cavalry, as well as 1 unit of the Talon Knights, again just a very similar unit to the Wardens of the White Tower, and 1 unit of the Haven Guard, which is where his general is. So that's pretty much going to do it for the army composition, so without any further ado, I will go ahead and start it off. Now, something I should mention, Tendra's Fox actually was quite kind here. He did not actually rush forward right away, seeing that Soph is out of position. He instead actually does wait for most of units to get into position. However, in this battle, you can see that right away I'm rushing. Actually, I've become a fan recently of Elven rushes. It definitely does not pay off all the time, but it is very, very satisfying when it does pay off. You can see I'm just rushing forward all of my units right here. My javelins, my Maethar Elas again, are definitely going to have to play a very, very important role in taking out the heavily armored units like the Edhelm Halberdiers and stuff like the Talon Knights and Haven Guard. Also, being a spear unit, oh, you can see the teams of Blackroot Vale Archers coming out of hiding now. But anyway, in terms of, well, they actually are a javelin unit, or a spear javelin unit, which means that if they do happen to get charged by cavalry, they will actually be able to tank that very, very well, considering they are in fact javelins. But again, that is just due to the fact that they are a spear unit. See my front line marching forward now. Unfortunately, I didn't really get them into the kind of formation I wanted to. They're kind of in like a long column formation instead of a wide one. But they will get back into their better formation once they do begin the fight. Harad and Arnor, their fight doesn't really begin right away either. Over here, I'm moving over all 3 of my units of Thurn E Tower, going to be protected by some Megil E Aaron, as well as my unit of Spearmen over here, my Thandrin E Aaron, just to protect them from any cavalry rushes. Over here, you can see that I have got into Dol Amroth's front line. My Megil E Aaron will do quite well, actually, against the Edhelm Men-at-Arms. The Edhelm Men-at-Arms obviously do have better armor. However, my units do have much better attack. My shock infantry over here should not do too bad either. I mean, being against the front line here against these Edhelm Halberdiers, not going to get a ton of kills, but still they should do okay. Especially being backed up by units like the Oth, who are going to do very well here. And you can see I'm just trying to spread out my forces. I don't want to overcommit I don't really want to overcommit. However, unfortunately, that is going to kind of happen over here on this side, so I'm going to be pulling back some units over to some different areas. My javelins are here, getting into a better position. However, you can see the cavalry, the 2 units of the Dor and Ernil cavalry going into, one of which is going into my Megil E Aaron, who are going to countercharge and not take too many losses. However, the other unit is going to go straight into my Maethar Elas Galen, who were able to get a volley off, which is actually going to cause those Dor and Ernil cavalry to think about routing. And again, you can see that their charge, while it did kill a few of my Maethar Elas Galen, it didn't really kill all that many, because of the fact that they are a spear javelin hybrid unit. But again, that is to be expected because this unit is, of course, very, very expensive and quite elite. You can see another javelin volley, this time going straight into those Tarnostian Lancers, taking out a good deal of them, but Not enough to completely stop the charge, but again, being spearmen, they're going to be able to tank that pretty well. I also am firing my Thurn E tower into the cavalry this whole time. You can see it's actually caused those Tarnostic Lancers to rout. And I'm also firing down these Dor and Urnor cavalry as well, because I am obviously not going to do very well against cavalry because I did not have any at all on the field. However, in terms of the rest of the fight, it is going quite well for me in terms of the infantry fight. The Edelland Halberdiers are proving very difficult to break down to the end. That is to be expected. They excel at holding the line. My Maethar Ilisgaln just kind of reforming. And you can actually see that Soph is sending over her unit of Temple Inquisitors to help me deal with the cavalry, which is very nice because while I am kind of surrounding these units of cavalry, it is going to still be relatively difficult if Somre is able to kind of get them out of there and just recharge all of my lines. However, these two units that I do have surrounding the cavalry are swordsmen, so they're not going to do as great as spearmen. However, speaking of spearmen, I do have my spearmen coming over forward now. However, those cavalry have actually routed now, which is going to leave Soph's cavalry free to just kind of recharge the back lines of Dol Amroth to help me out, which you can see is definitely something that I kind of need because I am starting to take more losses than I would like on the front line. You can see my Hero E Oth are really not doing too great. They're doing okay, but they're just taking a lot more losses than I would prefer. Over here, my second unit of Maethar Ilisgaln is taking a lot of losses from skirmish fire, actually. My Hiri Pang have actually also taken quite a few losses. But again, it's looking just very even right now, I should say. And most of Dol Amroth's archers have gone pretty much unmolested this whole time. You can see some of them going down. I'm trying to target down these Blackroot Vale archers because being BP, they're going to do a lot of damage. Over here, I saw these Edelland Men-at-Arms trying to go around the flank here, so I'm going to try to stop them with my Thandrim E Aaron, but unfortunately they are going to kind of get surrounded and cut down by these Dol Amroth Men-at-Arms just because of the fact that my spearmen are so outnumbered. However, the constant rear charging of these Temple Inquisitors is really helping out to turn the front line in my favor. You can see these 115 Edelland Men-at-Arms actually thinking about routing in the face of this whole fight here. And now you can see that more of the archers of Dol Amroth are starting to take losses. I haven't really been using my IR Argue E9 that much because I wanted to wait until right at this moment, as you can see, until the Haven Guard got into range because my elite archers back there will be able to do a good deal of damage to these Haven Guard despite them being heavily armored and having 2 hit points. However, you can see right here my one unit of Maethar Ilisgaln is taking a lot of losses to arrow fire. Over here I'm retreating my other 2 units, moving forward my other teams of Thurn tower onto this hill to get into a better firing position to fire pretty much all down this line of Dol Amroth. Over here my 2 units of Megalierin are actually really in a bad position. They're getting surrounded. One of the units is getting attacked by the Tier 3 Wardens, the other is getting attacked by the Talon Knights. So my infantry here will definitely lose the fight over time, which is why I'm trying to send over some reinforcements in the form of these Maethar Ilisgaln who are out of ammo, as well as the fact that I do have some Thurn E tower here to try to fire down this whole infantry line. Also, Soph's Inquisitors are there to really help out as well. And you can see now that this flank is starting to fall, I am able to start kind of surrounding over here. However, I'm not going to use this unit of Megalierin to go after the front line. I'm instead going to try to just silence a few of those archers, because they are starting to do a lot more damage than I would like. But we will now go over here to what's going on between Dale and Mordor, as well as Arnor, because you can see the forces are getting pretty close over there. Soph actually was a little bit preoccupied with her cavalry on my side, so she actually did not see the advance of Dale until they actually started to attack her archers. However, because our archers are all in fire at will mode, they're actually doing not too bad against the Barding Herd and units like that. But we should quickly now go over here to see what's going on with Arnor. You can see the only thing that's really gone on so far is these Muhad War Beasts just running around, trying to do as much havoc as they can. But unfortunately, being unsupported, they were not able to do very much damage before running muck. And after running muck, they can't really do anything. Oh, he actually brought 2 units of them. I did not know that you could actually do that. So he actually does have a second unit of Muhad War Beasts. And these guys are very expensive, so he's definitely gone for a very interesting army. But still, we'll see if it does pay off for him at the end. Getting a nice charge off there, but they are going to be getting surrounded very shortly here by some cavalry. And all across you can see Arnold is moving forward most of the infantry, because you can see that a lot of Donald Kingslayer's infantry has gotten here as well. He's also got his archers here, but they're just having a horrible time of it right now, having to fight against these knights and everything else. I'd slow it down just a little bit because it does get a little bit quick here. We'll look elsewhere for now, though. Donald Kingslayer's just got his units right there. I think he's got his elites right here as well. and his pikemen are right here going to try to block off the approach of enemy cavalry. Looks like Tundra's Fox actually sending over some of his own cavalry to try to help deal with the Knights of the Numenor. But it is nonetheless going to be very difficult no matter what he does. Ooh! A really interesting move here by Riz. He's actually running his Arthurian men-at-arms past all these Southern Warband, which is actually causing them to shake. And we may see a very major rout here, which is going to be very unfortunate if that is the case. However, the dismounted Knights of the Numenor here should be there to provide some nice morale support. Ooh. Oh yeah, I forgot that's the allies. That's his allies' cavalry. Look over here now with Dale and Mordor. Again, just really nothing going on quite yet. And I think things are, yeah. You can see now that I have pretty much won the front line. So I'm going to be sending my victorious units elsewhere. A lot of my archers have also ran out of ammo now, after constantly firing at the flanks of units and things like that. So, ooh, rear charge right there has actually broken those Edhelm's men-at-arms right away. And the Temple Inquisitor of Sofsof are just proving to be an invaluable asset to me right now, because she's just able to rear charge all of the units that otherwise would be able to do a great deal of damage to me. The Haven Guard actually have been committed to the fight against what's left of this front line, so I actually have committed my IR Arguate and Nanowave, who are out of ammo now, to fight against them. And being this outnumbered as well as surrounded, the Haven Guard will fall. You can see I've still got, I think, all of my, 54 out of, 54, so that unit's completely healthy of my bodyguard unit. But again, so it's looking like it's going to be a victory for me over on that side. I think if it weren't for Sofsof's cavalry, it would have probably turned the other way, because I really didn't have any answers to the Dolan cavalry. However, over here you can see that the Mumakil are actually kind of going into view now. I think it was kind of a waste to throw away his Muhad War Beasts like that, especially because it's a very expensive unit to kind of just throw away like that without any support, but we'll see if it really costs him. The cavalry support of Tundra's Fox over here is starting to help him out, though. Ooh. That was something that I was very not happy about, but right here you can see the Dunedain Mountain Company foolishly charging into these Muad Beast Tamers or Pikes, just can instantly rout that unit. Oh yeah, Dunedain Troll Slayers are here as well. I forgot to mention they're a very good javelin unit to do a great deal of damage. They also pull out two-handed axes in melee, so they can be actually AP. Over here though, looks like still looking pretty even between Arnor and Harad, but I think Arnor, ooh, it's gonna be close. But anyway, something I should mention, he was the only, so far he's been the only man of his unit to die. Out of his entire bodyguard, the general died. I was very, very put out by that. It was something that I was kind of sad about. Oh no, it looks like he's actually lost one bodyguard. So all those dudes, except for the one that died, need to be fired. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just pretty much cleaning up the last of Dol Amroth's forces. So I guess we will now go ahead and go back over here. The infantry fight has not yet begun between Arnor and Dol Amroth, or Dale and Arnor and Dol Amroth. Wow, I think I'm going insane. But anyway, the infantry fight has not yet begun between Mordor and Dale. However, you can see now that Tundra's Fox is starting to move forward a lot of his infantry. So if Soph is not careful, she probably will lose the few remaining skirmishers that she does have left. She does still have the, there goes the Haven Guard actually, General. It looks like the Haven Guard actually got a new model to their helmet. I did not actually notice that, but that looks sick. Yeah, it looks like these archers are going to actually get caught out in melee, not going to be very good for them at all. Over here though, we can go ahead and take a, oh, I thought I was gonna, there we go. So yeah, the Dunedain Troll Slayer is out of ammo now, so now would definitely be a good time for Donald to move in his Mumakil. He should definitely try to focus on taking out Arnor, because it's looking very close. His infantry forces were able to beat this pocket of men-at-arms and stuff right here. However, Arnor was able to defeat the Muhad infantry right here as well. There's a lot of blobbing going on right now, a huge amount of blobbing. So if Donald wants to win this, he's definitely going to have to try to send over some of his Ashari Stalkers just to fire into this huge blob of troops right here. But unfortunately, there was actually a little bit of a mistake right there by Riz. He apparently did not remember that the fire arrows were against the rules. However, you can see that he has turned them off now, so that's good. The Banderbrass archers are also still firing into that huge amount of, or into that hugely blob portion of Harad's forces. He really does not have a lot of infantry left over, so he's gonna have to be very careful. Ooh, and the rear charges of these Knights of Innuminos, not gonna be very good for even for the elite units like the champions and trolls and trollmen. Ooh, yeah, not gonna be very good for them. However, if the Knights of Innuminos do stay in melee, they're going to take a good amount of losses. Back here you can see that Harad still does have a pretty nice amount of his low-tier archers here. But again, I think this is kind of a mistake to be sending his Mumakil over to Mordor. I definitely think he needs it to come back over here, because he definitely needs the presence of that 1500 Florin unit over on his own side. Especially because the fight between Dale and Mordor really hasn't even begun that heavily yet. The civilian just getting absolutely butchered by the Black Legion and Lorne Halberds over behind them. There are some Barding Herd and Lake 10 infantry. Barding Herd are of course AP Halberds, so they're going to do very good. Ooh, Melkor's Chosen about to get stopped from running amok in the back lines. However, the Melkor's Chosen were able to just run straight through those infantry before the Barding Herd were able to get out there, which is going to allow Soph to again rear charge the heck out of everything that Dale has to offer. You can see it looks like she's first going. Oh, a little bit of indecisiveness. Ooh, 2 Mumakil going down instantly to those halberds. That was a little bit of an interesting thing that I noticed. I don't know if halberds have like have a bonus against. Oh, and there go the Mumakil running amok after taking those losses. I don't know if halberds actually have a bonus against Mumakil, but it definitely seems like it because those two just dropped instantly. There's also the Numenor and Shadowguard up here though as well, so that could also be the case. You can see the rear charge of these Melkor's Chosen though, instantly routing those previously full, pretty much, well this unit was before like 100 men, but now that unit is pretty much routed. Over here the Barding Herd, unsupported and low in numbers, are going to be overwhelmed eventually by these Black Legion, who are fear-inspiring. That, combined with the fact of these constant rear charges, is probably, well, maybe going to cause those Barding Herd to actually rout. Over here you can see the Lake Town River Patrol, that's what they're called. We've got an excellent looking unit model. So this is the Javelin unit that Dale has to offer. Looks like he's got 2 units of them. He's trying to throw them at these Melkor's Chosen, doing a good deal of damage. There's actually also some Earls back here as well, coming back from the fight with Harad and Arnor. But overall, the infantry fight against Mordor is really proving to be kind of one-sided, at least at the moment. You can see that Dale is trying to send forward some more supporting units like some Swordmasters of Karnan, but unfortunately a little too far back to really be doing a huge amount of work. You can also see that there's some Blackshot Dragonslayers not coming through. You're probably targeting down some high-tier, or some high-value units like the Olag High or the Melkor's Chosen. Olag High, I'm pretty sure like all trolls do have a bonus at fighting against cavalry, which is going to cause these Earls of Dale to just get absolutely butchered, especially because there are still 14 Melkor's Chosen here. The Lake Town River Patrol is still firing to not only the Melkor's Chosen, but also the Olag High now, which is not a bad deal at all, because elsewhere, things are looking very, very grim for Dale. But yeah, those Mumakil just got instantly wrecked. I definitely think he should have left them over on his side, because you can see now that I think, yeah, it looks like, ooh, yeah, it looks like Harad has pretty much been soundly beaten. Yeah, there's still a lot of armor units remaining. However, there are still the South-run archers here. But again, being low tier and lightly armored and very low in skill as well, they're not going to be able to last for very long. Wait. Okay, yeah. At first I thought there was 3 units, but no, he's just got his 2 units of his charge stalkers here. But again, I feel like that's a little too late now. I think he probably should have committed them earlier when he was able to see the huge blobs. I mean, he still can see a very big blob here, so hopefully he'll be able to take advantage of that, but I don't think he will be able to because of the fact these Arthurian marksmen are here, which is going to force him to instead focus his archers here. And as you saw, there went the Harad general just a moment ago. And yeah, I was able to beat Dol-Amroth, so I'm just slowly making my way over here. I'm not going to be able to get here very quickly, unfortunately, because of all the different pathways. We definitely need Gollum to kind of lead our elven troops. But the cavalry of Soph was able to get here very swiftly because they are, of course, mounted, and they're going to again be rear charging into the back lines. This time going into the river patrol. However, they did take a pretty nasty javelin volley there right at the end. I like the gray cloaks or capes of these Lake Town River Patrol. Yes, the cavalry of Sofsov really doing a nice job for here. Over here, Dale is still barely holding on. The Swordmasters of Karnan are slowly but surely getting cut down. However, there's still a lot of Mordor infantry here. The archers of Tendra's Fox are still constantly firing as well. The Barding Herd are by no means bad in melee, so once they do run out of ammo, or if they do have to just be committed, they will do very well. Actually, you can see, yeah, some more Barding Herd and some more Swordmasters of Karnan here, but looks like the Swordmasters of Karnan have been taking a lot of skirmish fire from these orc javelins. Ooh, yeah, that's definitely not good because Tendra's Fox is already running very low on infantry, and some pretty expensive units like these Swordmasters of Karnan, he really can't afford to lose to javelins. I think this unit costs about like 850 florins, and you can bring 2 of them before the price increase, but oh, they're just getting absolutely butchered by javelins right now. So the Bardian Marksmen trying to slow down these Temple Inquisitors, but they're able to catch out, looks like, a few of them, but the rest of the unit was able to just pile straight into those Lake Town River Patrol. Really just not looking too good right now for Dale. And now that Arnor has almost been able to defeat Harad, once he's able to, he'll be able to come over here and help deal with the rest of Dale, which is what I'm trying to do right now, but again, as I said, the pathways are a little bit awkward in some cases. Oh yeah, that unit of Swordmasters of Karnan pretty much killed only by these javelins before they were even able to get into melee at all. Elsewhere, we can take a look at the battle. You can see actually some retreating archers of Sofsov have been engaged in melee by some Lake Town infantry. It's going to be a pretty even fight, but I feel like the Mordor forces will be able to win that fight eventually. But all around, it looks like Dale is still trying to... is still really struggling. You can see there's some pockets that are doing okay, like these Bardian Marksmen here holding pretty strong. He's still got his Blackshot Dragon Slayers, and a lot of archers remaining as well. But still, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for him to be able to pull this off. Also, the dismounted Temple Inquisitors are somewhere around here in the melee fight. Or at least they were a moment ago. Yes, here they are. There's still 62 of them remaining, so it's still a very, very healthy unit. This unit of Swordmasters of Karnan, while it was able to do actually a good deal of damage, it is, you can see, pretty much all but done for now. There's only 32 of them remaining. So they're going to be backed up by some Lake Town Bowmen here right at the end of the fight. You can see there's not too many frames left in the battle. Take a look over here now, as Arnor cleans up the last of Harad. All those archers, of course, weren't going to be able to hold for very long at all. And over here, these Hashari Stalkers just getting absolutely shot down. Being, like all ranger units, they're not going to have very good armor at all. And just the constant fire of the Banderbrass archers and the Arthurian marksmen is not going to be very healthy for them. Looks like yeah, you can see my forces just about there. However, Sofsov did ask me to just wait and allow her to try to deal with Dale on her own, so I did comply with that. Anyway, Orc Javelin is now going to get back into are going to try to get into a better position. But they're actually going to get charged by the Lake Town Bowmen of Tendra's Fox, who did see this and definitely did not want his Dragon Slayers to get a Javelin Volley. However, he was not quite quick enough, so a few of those Blackshot Dragon Slayers are going to fall to the Orc Javelin Volley. Back here you can see some Olag High silencing these Lake Town River Patrol. However, the second unit was actually able to get off a volley and kill one of the trolls there. Mordor archers were able to defeat the Lake Town infantry over on that side. Yes, this front line of the Mordor halberds and the Black Legion was able to hold on very, very well pretty much throughout the entire battle. Even with the Mumikill over here, you can see a lot of the Black Legion was taken out by the Mumikill. However, the halberds were just able to pretty much instantly kill those Mumikill, which was something I was very, very surprised about. The Numenor Chagger were up here getting a nice firing position, but looked like they did get kind of skirmished down or maybe charged by some cavalry, or some remnants of some cavalry. Yes, okay, and that is going to be pretty much that is pretty much going to be it for Dale's infantry. There's only a few remaining units to them. They've just got some Blackshot Dragon Slayers and some Lake Town River Patrol. That's pretty much going to be the end of the battle. Again, I am sorry about it not being too terribly close, but I guess, again, it really just comes down to my internet, and while it is definitely better, it is still very, very unpredictable, so I just kind of have to get replays of every battle I do actually play in, whether it is close or not. I do promise some closer battles in the future, though. I think I have another 3v3 lined up that is definitely more close. That is definitely more close. But again, that one actually has... Actually, I have to wait on that one. So hopefully I will be able to tackle that one quickly. Or pretty quick. Oh, Orc Javelin just firing straight into the last of those Blackshot Dragon Flayers. Oh, actually taking out the general there, although he could have been taking out something else. And that's going to basically be it for this battle. You can see armor just slowly making its way over here. My forces are over here as well. Pretty much the only thing I've got left now are some archers, though, because I took a lot of losses in the actual infantry fight. Again, only 2 units, only 2 men of my elves, technically, of this entire unit of the Arguit Inanui died, and one of them was Randuil, so definitely all those guys need to be fired because they were horrible at their job of protecting the general. So yes, as that is now pretty much going to be the end of the battle, I'll just go ahead and speed it up until the, well, the very end, I should say. So there's some admitting of defeat there. And that is going to be just about it. Yep, there we go. So, Soph easily getting the most kills for that team. Riz got 1,800 and I got 1,700. Tundra's Fox definitely going to get the most kills for his team, but again, that is unsurprising because he was faced up against Mordor. Sumray and Donald Kingsley are getting pretty even kills. Actually, Sumray got more kills. Wait, yeah. I was confused for a second there, but yes, that was the case. We'll take a quick look at the exact kills. 79 kills for my Arguit Inanui. That's pretty low, but again, you have to remember that they were just skirmishing down very elite units like the Haven Guard pretty much the whole game. Harry Pang did okay. All my archers did very well, except for this last unit of Thurning Tower. My infantry did quite well in addition to that. And that looks like it's... Yeah, the only other thing that got a lot of kills was the one unit, the Mayfair US gun. The second unit, unfortunately, just got skirmished down by the Black Rail Archers being EP. They did a lot of damage to that lightly armored Elven Javelin. But that is going to pretty much be the end of this video. So if you guys did enjoy, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next video. Again, I am sorry about this one. I am sorry that this one was not too terribly close, but I do promise some closer battles in the future. So anyway, guys, farewell wherever you fare till your eyes receive you at your journey's end.